Okay, everybody, it's been a while. I haven't painted anything in, probably a couple months at this point, but amazingly, even though it is pretty warm today, it's cloudy. So without the sun, I'll still be sweating, but it's not as bad without the sun in my eyes all the time. So we're gonna, stupid bug, we're gonna try doing a painting called Tropical Seascape. So, what I've done, because it's exceptionally boring and you didn't want to see it anyway, is, per the video, liquid white across the top, liquid clear across the bottom. And I'm going to stick pretty much to the colors that Bob Ross uses, with the exception that there's one point where he mixes a lavender color, and I already have a lavender color. Plus, I'm going to use phthalo turquoise, because I love this color, instead of phthalo blue. Other than that, I'm going to stick with what he's doing. So titanium white, midnight black. I believe he uses Prussian blue at one point. He lists it, but yeah, like he makes a lavender color. But since I already have a couple of lavenderish purples that are transparent, I'm just going to go ahead and use probably, I think I'm going to use this one because he does lighter colors. It's a little lighter. I think I'll use that one. I do have a more lavendery color, which is this, but it's opaque. And he's using, I believe, phthalo blue, and which is transparent, phthalo blue, and alizarian crimson, which is also transparent. So that's making a transparent color. So this will not work because, sorry, it's opaque. So if it was, I would use that. But honestly, this is gonna give it a nice deep color anyway, so I'm fine using that. Other than that, I'm going to stick pretty much to his colors. He uses yellow ochre. I believe he does use Van Dyke brown for the beach. I know he uses cad yellow, because I've watched most of the video already, just to get myself familiar with what he was doing and know if there were any substitutions I wanted to or could make. Dark sienna, I know he uses that. So, but I'm not going to vary it too much. I'm going to stick with pretty much what he's using. This is opaque, right? Yeah, that's an opaque one. But for the ocean, I've really liked how phthalo turquoise has come out, so I think I'm going to stick with that instead of what he makes. You'll see it because you'll hear the video when it's going on. Does he use this? What is this? Indian yellow. Oh yeah, he does use Indian yellow, so I need that, and I have a new tube of that because that one's pretty dead. Okay, let's go. So here we go. Okay, masking tape's already on. Slightly above center's done. I measured it even. Liquid clear down here. Liquid white, which is exceptionally boring, as I said, to watch, so I already did that. Okay. Okay. Van Dyke brown. I've got Van Dyke brown. I'm just watching the colors now. Alizarian crimson. I don't have, because I don't know if we're going to need it with the colors I've got. But if I do, I have it. I did take it out. Cad yellow I've got. Yellow ochre I've got. Okay, it's a 2-inch brush. Indian yellow I've got. I'm going to back up in a minute. I'm just looking at the colors right now. Okay, bright red. Oh, I don't have bright red. I do have. I just don't have it out. What else? Is that it? Bright red, bright red. Well, I'll get bright red if I actually need it. I think he does use bright red. I might use a different color. So, okay. All right, so let me back up to where he's starting with Indian yellow, I believe. Let's see.
Go right into a small amount.
Indian yellow?
Of the Indian yellow.
Yeah, Indian. Okay, so boop, hold on. Indian yellow right here. Bingo. Like I said, I'm going to mostly stick with the colors he's using, because this is a kind of a nice painting as it looks. I'm not going to use as much paint on the canvas as he does, because I don't know if I may have already talked about this. When he does his paintings, he's doing several a show, so I don't need this brush. This is my kind of kick around brush, cheap brush, so we're not using that. What we are using is a 2-inch, which is dry. Okay. And this is where he's just laying in his sky. Yeah, okay. So we'll come into that.
Without cleaning the brush.
Okay, so this is where he's just creating kind of his first kind of yellow area here. So we'll do that. Just kind of brush that around. And we're just creating some yellow coloring here. And I'm not going to worry. This is all going to get blended, so I'm not worried about it being a little, thick in places at the moment. Okay, so then he's going into what?
Cad yellow.
Cad yellow, and he's doing cad yellow on top. Okay. So cad yellow on top, and around, it looks like. So we'll put that right there. And then he's going to do yellow ochre, what, for the top, right? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, like I said, I already watched this. So let me see. So yellow ochre we'll put over here. This is a pretty new tube, too, because I finally ran out of the other one. But I don't use, like, he's got huge globs of paint. And I'm not doing that because I watched this. He doesn't use that much of these colors. So there's really no reason to, you know, dump a ton of this onto your canvas when you're not going to be using it outside of these small areas. I mean, they're not small areas, but they're certainly not requiring for this painting as much as he's using. All right, okay. And then, okay. You know what, I'm going to kind of dance this down a little bit here, just a bit, and a little bit in here, just thicken it there, and thicken some there, just to give some variation. Okay. And then that's when he goes into, again, without cleaning it, he goes into the ochre for the top, and then I believe he does like a darker red. I just want to see. I think he does that across the entire top. Yeah, and then he's going to put dark on the edges, which I think is maybe bright red. Okay, well, cleaning the brush, bright red. Yeah, bright red. That's what I thought. Okay. So we'll do the top here in this color. All right. And this is a pretty easy painting. Just like I said, it is still warm. But I thought, oh, it's been a while since I've painted something. So I'm easing back in. This is fairly simple. There's not much to this. Okay, I'm going to take my phone out of my pocket because it's bouncing around in my pocket and it's not a light phone, which is annoying as a feeling. So let's put a little more on the top edges here. Blend that in. Let me get a little more of that just to get in the corners and do it across. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see? You want it to look like it's a little darker. And I just ran out of paint. So we're going to bring that in here. Now he uses bright red for the top corners, I believe, and then he does some streaking of it inside. Let's take a quick look at that. Because I may use a different color. So he just, you see he's doing bright red on the top corners and the very, very top there. You know what I think I'm going to do, because bright red is opaque. Let's take a quick look through what we got here. And then he's doing little streaks of it. Okay, that's fine. But let's take a look at what I got, because I have a lot of colors here. So bright red. Where's bright red? Bright red's going to be here. Bright red is a... it's a semi-opaque, I believe. Let me see. Yeah. So it's a semi-opaque. Let's see what we want to do. What do we want to do? I mean, it is opaque though. But I might want to use like a more orangey red. Do I have something like... Interesting. Radfall red. Well, maybe I don't really have a... These are all transparent. So all these oranges I have are transparent. So you know what? I'm going to stick with his color because I don't really have something that I was thinking of something orangey. Get off there, bug. Oh, come on. Stupid bug. Hold on. Let me get this bug off here. Get out. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use the red then. Just a bit, though, because I don't think he uses red past this little bit here, and I don't want to just waste paint, so I'm literally just gonna do that, just a blotch. I literally just squeezed what might be a dime size amount of that paint, because I'm pretty sure that's all he uses this for, is across the top, and then he does these little things in there as like little dark areas, which is fine, but again, I don't need to use a lot of paint for that. There. Okay, so he's going basically across the top to just give it some red highlights, which I will do. Let me bring that down and around. I think at this point now he's going to make his lavender. Okay, so I got it. So let's get some more of that red. We'll go to the other side here. Oh, hold on. Paper towel's going to blow away. There's a bit of a breeze, which is nice. Not enough to really cool things off, but better than nothing. So see, I'm going to try to bring some more red in here, which I like. I was just looking to see if I had like a nice semi-opaque red orange. As it turns out, I don't. I'm going to use more red than he did. don't feel like I got much there. I want to kind of do that. Yeah, see. Now, that might be more red than he intended to be used, but I like red. That's one of my favorite colors. I mean, that is my favorite color. I don't want to say, well, that is one of. I have more than one favorite color, but I do love red. I think I've said this before, but I saw a Mazda, probably a recent model Mazda that was a nice red. Oh man, I think Mazda might have the best red of the 2025s and 6s right now as far as cars go. That is a beautiful red. Lincoln has a good one too, but that Mazda red, that's a nice red. What is that? Get out of there. I think it's a bug. Of course it is. Of course it is. Has to be a bug. Why wouldn't there be a bug? Now, he used the big brush to make these little red clouds. However, I don't trust my ability to do that as much as he does. So we're going to do something different. Okay, so he washes the brush. Okay, so we're going to wash this first. So first, wash the brush. Then I'll show you what I'm going to do, which you could probably guess at. This is not some great secret, mysterious technique here. I'm just going to use a fan brush because it's a lot easier to do a thin line with a fan brush. At least it is for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm much better at thin lines with a fan brush than I am with a big brush. I've never quite gotten his technique to really make these 2-inch brushes have like a fine point. I know he says it's easy, and I believe that it is for him. And maybe other people have gotten that technique down. I haven't. So, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves one of the big fan brushes. Or the bigger, I have to buy a fan brush, that's right. What's the size on these guys? I think these are the smaller ones. I'm pretty sure I have a bigger one. Oh yeah, this one. So we'll take this. Actually, it really doesn't need to be a big fan brush for this, so the small one's fine. Okay, so I'm going to take the same red. Just get it on the brush here. And we're going to do what he was doing, which I actually really like, which is just putting these kind of little areas of red tinge in here that are a little bit thicker and harsher, but aren't meant to be really sharp clouds, just meant to be red kind of indicators where there's some variation in the clouds. I think, does he, did he blend that all together or not? I don't remember. I think he does. Yeah, he's blending. Oh no, I know what that's right. He does it after the fact. Yeah, because he's tapping them in and then he's kind of, yeah. All right. So hold on a minute. I want that one to go off the edge like that. A little more in there. One more there. Right there. Okay. All right, so now let me clean this real quick. This will be an easy clean because there really wasn't much on that brush. So I don't need to carry the whole bucket for this. Not that much liquid on this thing. Clean that. And we'll do a brush dry over here. Okay, and then what I am going to do is I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to blend this really quick. Just kind of blend all this in, then rewash the brush on this. So you just want to stretch that out so it's not quite as harsh. Just blend those red areas in like that. Nice and easy. Okay, then I gotta wash this again. I will take the bucket with me because this tends to drip a lot. So, there we go. Right. Foop. Alrighty. Since I just washed that brush, I didn't want to use another clean one. Just rewash this. And to mimic a very stale meme at this point, hydration break. Because this is still warm. Okay. All right, where are we? Okay. Uh-huh. Yep. So this is where I think he's going to make his lavender that's going to fill in the rest of this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so he's doing Alzan Crimson, which again, transparent, and blue, both transparencies. And what he's making is a purple. So see that? He's making a purple. So if I already have a transparent purple, why not simply use that? Is my theory. Now, let's see if I'm an idiot. Which, if you've watched for a while, you already know the answer, but let's take a look. Okay, so let's put some purple. Let's put it over here, purple, because he's only using that there too. So again, I don't need to use a ton of this. Yeah, so that now he's darkening it with blue for the bottom. So what I may do is I may do a little bit of blue for the bottom part of it. So I may do that. That makes sense to me. Hold on a minute. I'm sweating a bit, so we'll just use that really quick. Okay. 2-inch brush. Luckily, I do have another clean 2-inch brush. So let's start with the bare purple, as is, without any blue in it. And we'll make that upper layer like he's got. Okay. Okay. So now we'll come in here, and we'll just start putting this in to a certain degree. Now, luckily, it's not turning green, because he said that that's one of the things you got to watch out for is color turning green, but do not appear to be getting a green color here, so that's good. Just kind of, and I'm not going to worry about it being splotchy because it's all going to get blended. And let's just go across the whole bottom, because I'm going to come in here with the blue in a minute. Just got to be careful not to cross the tape. The tape is the bottom horizon part. And we'll just splotch a little bit of that up there. Okay, so now let's take the phthalo blue, and I don't know, we might need phthalo blue later, but for now, well, you know what, because we probably will. I'm going to get that out of there. Phthalo blue on the top here. Just have to remember it's there. And we'll just take a little bit of that, just a little, mix it into this to make like a blue lavender, or blue purple, or whatever you want to call this color. And I'm mixing it into the purple. And then, yeah, see? Okay, yeah, you can see the blue there. And we'll bring that up and in. We're just going to mix that across the bottom, just to give it some blue as it hits the water. And I believe this is all going to get blended in a second. So let's get a little more of that. A little more blue. Okay. Mix that right there. Oh, wow, that's very blue. Okay, that's very blue. Let me get more purple to even that out a little bit. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's a little heavier blue color than he has. So I got a little bit more than I expected there. But you know what? Honestly, I don't mind having a lot of color. So let's just go ahead and let's just darken this side to kind of even that out and make it look like that was on purpose. Which, of course, we all know watching the video it wasn't, but that's okay. Well, now I got to do more on the bottom. So let's grab a little bit more of the blue, a little bit more of the purple, splotch that, and let's run across like this. And that way, we got the dark part all over. Well, you know what? It's okay. I don't mind a lot of color, and it's all going to get blended in a second, I think. So he's going to say wash it. I'm not going to worry about that. I can blend all that out as I'm going to in a minute. I got a little bit there, but that's okay too. All right, so now I think he's going to blend everything. Oh, that's right. He's going to do the white. All right, hold on. Before he does this, or before we do this, we got to blend that bottom spot. So let's wash this off. And I'm going to blend that bottom part to smooth out those heavy splotches of color. Because I like the color, but it doesn't look very good the way it is right now. But instead of using the big brush, which I think is going to be a lot tougher to do it correctly with, let's wash this off, or dry this off really quick. Instead, we're going to use one of these guys, 1-inch. A lot easier. Right, and I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to do a little bit of blending here, which I know he's going to do later anyway. But this will just take out those heavy areas. Say it just makes it a little bit more. I gotta be careful not to go too far up, or I'm gonna pull the purple into the rest. And I'm gonna blend it all together eventually with a big brush. But for this smaller section, I want to use this to kind of just get rid of, soften out all these heavy areas. See that? See how those streaks are going away now? And now it's looking more like layers of clouds. That's what you want. So that it doesn't look like what actually happened, which was I had too much color on the brush and it got pulled as these long streaks. You and I watching this, well, I painting it, you watching it, we know that's what happened. But people don't need to look at that and see that it's what happened. It's fine to see it on the video. I'm not worried about that getting across on the bottom. I know what's going to come later, so that's okay. But you don't necessarily want the painting to look like that. So you just kind of work that stuff out. A little bit's okay. I don't mind a little bit of streakiness in there, but not as much as there was, right? I mean, there was a ton in there. Now, see that? Looks actually like it might be natural to a degree. That's a lot better. Okay, oh, of course, the sun's coming out. Ugh. Well, it's temporary. The clouds are, there's too many clouds. It'll get covered up again. But it is, I will say, it is warm right now. But the sun is worse. It really is. Okay, let's get that off there. Now, he's going to use the knife to make these clouds. And originally I wasn't going to, first time I watched it, I'm like, I'm not going to use the knife. But you know what? I think I am going to use the knife. Because what he's doing is fairly similar to what gets done with water. Hold on, I'm just going to dry my head off. Because it is hot. Okay. So I don't have a problem using the knife. Some stuff when he does with the knife I will not do, like mountains, because that's just way too hard. But something like this should be pretty easy. Small knife, titanium white, which I'm going to actually use this for this particular part because he's stretching the paint out very thin. And rather than do that and risk having to mix it later with something, I'm going to put this on its own thing. Just some white, not a ton. Because he stretches, he's going to say stretch it out as thin as possible. You'll hear it in a second.
And pull it out as flat as I can get it. Just really get strong. Pull it out very flat. Go straight down. There we go. Cut across. You have a little bit of paint.
Okay.
Just make some little clouds. It just hang around.
Little roll of paint.
Pushing very hard.
Yeah,
very
so he's just making white clouds here in random spots.
Faces little cloud shapes.
All right.
I don't want these big bright clouds. Just little floaters.
Just little floaters, which I'm okay with.
Fun clouds.
Yeah, see, that works okay with the knife. That's not bad.
Good time clouds.
Good time clouds, he says. Bob Ross. Right. These do not have to be all that well defined.
Shoot, who knows? Maybe there's one that floats right around here.
That's a lot of paint. Let me just do that. I don't want to make them all on the same plane. Let's do that. Okay. Go all the way down, just like he does. Now, I'm going to pause because this is what basically he's doing right now, is just these clouds, which I like. This I actually like quite a bit. See, I don't even have to necessarily reload the paint all that much because these are just kind of streaked clouds. So I'm just basically pulling little pieces of paint out here. Have that one go off the edge. Oh, I don't know. Let's put one here. Oh, well, that pulled some of the purple, but honestly, that's okay. That was bound to happen, really. Maybe one more. Let's do one more if I can get enough paint for it. There we go. And since I've already got purple on the knife, let's put it right here and have it go right off the edge. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. I believe this is where he's going to blend everything.
Dry brush. And it's time for your bravery test.
Yep.
Come right up here and very lightly. Very lightly. Two
Yeah.
rows and some here.
Okay.
Just blend those little clouds.
Yeah.
Barely
So
touch.
we're going to take this brush here.
Barely touching. You take the brush. Another way of making clouds.
Oh, and this is where he's making more clouds,
Just
yeah.
tap a little white into it and go up here.
Yeah, yeah.
And just
So he's using the big brush for
really
this.
Just tap it right onto the canvas like so.
Yeah.
Just tap, 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 tap. And maybe right along here there's another. Just
So this is bigger brushes.
just sort of tap it on and very lightly. Very lightly.
Okay, so I'm going to do something a little different from what he's doing.
Easy way of making
I think he's done with the clouds now.
clouds.
Hold on. Yeah. This is where he pulls the tape, right? Okay, so now he's going down to the water. So Instead of using this to make the puffier clouds, I'm going to go ahead and use the fan brush. Because for me, I think this gives me tighter control, and then I can use the big brush to blend everything going downwards. So let's get a little paint on here. Actually, I could just use the white that's there, really. I don't have to even get any more. All right, so same thing that he's doing, same idea, just kind of, right, now I'm going to do a little bit differently than how he did it. He did it more like it was cascading down. I'm not quite going to do that, because these are all going to get blended anyway. So I'm just going to do some clouds coming from the edges here. And this is also covering up the fact that the yellow didn't really cover all that much right there. So see, you can fix mistakes as you go. That's the nice part. Let's do, this will stick out pretty well, so we'll do something up here, and we'll just let them kind of, see, so it's just different types of clouds. It's just varying things up, that's all. And the nice part is, it's not, this is barely using any of the paint. I'm using very little white paint. So this is what I mean about, you know, if you don't need to dump a bunch of paint on the thing, don't. Because paint ain't cheap. And, you know, I don't know if he went down into purple with the white clouds, did he? Oh yeah, he did. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, there's no reason not to. I was just curious if there was a reason he didn't, so I might have held back, but he did. So down here, we'll do the same thing, just some, and so you don't want to go back up now, because now there'll be purple on the brush. So I'm gonna just do a couple more here, have this coming off from the side, have a little bit on the edge here, like on the edge of the water, where the water's gonna be. Okay, now, wash this. And again, I'm not using a ton of paint, which, if you're Bob Ross, where you have a TV studio that is paying for all your paint, well, then go crazy. If somebody's paying for all your paint, use a lot of paint, by all means. But if they're not, then don't bankrupt yourself on paint unless you're doing multiple paintings per day, which I never do. I don't. If I was running a TV show and these were people who were paying for my paint, well, then we're having a much different discussion about things, but that ain't where we are. So, all right. Now this is going to be tricky because I am always bad about going light enough on the canvas. I always tend to push too hard. So I'm trying not to, but see, there's the, oh, look at that. That actually worked out really nice for that cloud. See, just blending that in and working down because I don't want to see where that purple is. I'm trying not to repeat that. And if I were to come from the bottom up, I promise you right now, that's exactly what would happen. It would be that the purple would pull off the brush into that yellow, and there'd be way more of that. As it is, there's already some, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to keep going there. I want to pull that white out. Just let that all blend. Okay, well, you can do a little bit. It's not bad. Just trying to... There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and wash this again, because I can't reuse this with this on here, especially if we're going to go down to the water. But the water's going to be interesting because I'm going to do something a little different than he's doing. But let's watch it first. And then, to use a Bob Ross term, we'll make some big decisions. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, getting a little break from the heat now. Just the sun being behind the clouds lowers everything like 10 degrees. It's amazing. All right, so where are we? I was going to take the tape off. All right. Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that purple. That's all right. No big deal. Yeah, so he's doing red and blue. Right. So he's making a purple. It's hard to see it on the video, but that's what he's showing off. It's like a purple color. Yeah, and that's, again, transparent. So let's see.
One of the things when you're doing a seascape, if you sort of figure out...
So this is where he's establishing his biggest wave. Mm-hmm. Now he does his a little over to the left. I think I'm going to center mine a little more. But that's, he's drawing that with that paint. Which I have a filbert brush. It's a good idea, actually. Filbert brush. Filbert brush. Where are you, filbert? This isn't the filbert. It's a flat one. I gotta find it. Oh, there it is. Is this filbert? Yeah, well, it's similar. It's similar enough. Unless this is filbert. What is this? This is a... I guess I should use the bigger one. Right, okay, so let me see. So see, what he's doing, what he's going to end up doing, because like I said, I watched this, is he's going to do like a purple. It's going to come out to a dark blue. So, instead of phthalo blue and Azarian crimson, I'm going to use phthalo turquoise and some of that purple. And that's going to be the watercolor. Actually, maybe I'll mix blue and turquoise. That's not bad. So let's mix these together, because I like the idea of that color. So let's clean this off. Hold on. No, I can get rid of this. Clean this off really quick. Be a mixing brush. Throw this out really quick. Over here. And let's do... There we go. Okay. So... Okay, let's mix these together. So we'll take that, and we'll take that, and we're just gonna mix those and see what kind of color we get here. Ooh, yeah. I can just see it. But that's a nice kind of, look at that. Oh, you can't really see it. Can you see that? See that? That's a nice color. Okay. Leave that there. So let's take the brush. And we're going to draw our wave, and like I said, I want to put mine more like here. His is over here. I'm going to do mine like there. But let me go back and look at the shape, because he does have a good shape to it. Okay, so, and then he does the curve at the center. Okay, so let's get this brush. Okay. Yeah, because so I'm going to center my wave here and bring that off. And then kind of bring it down like this. And that. And then he does this curve like that. Okay. Which I probably should tighten that up a bit, because his color is a little thicker. So let's just thicken that out. Not that it's really going to matter. Okay. And then I think he uses a different brush now. Yeah, what the... Yeah. Yep. Which brush is he going to? Mm-hmm. 2 inch? 2 inch, okay. That's where he's going to lay it in. Now what I am going to do is mix some of the purple. Actually, am I going to mix that purple in? I'm thinking now, hold on. Now I'm kind of considering what I want to do here. I mean, I'm going to, well, you know what? I should. It's going to make a nice variation. So let me just dry this. Okay, back to it. I stopped the camera real quick because my wife brought me out a cooling headband since it's warm, which makes me look like a, I don't know if you can see it, but it makes me look like some kind of weekend warrior biker type, which I'm absolutely not. Okay, but it is working because it's keeping my head from sweating. And it's going to catch the sweat, so that's great. Okay, so he's at the point where he's making the beach now. So he's mixing dark sienna, yellow ochre, which is already there. So we're just going to mix this. He's just making a sand color. That's really what he's doing. He's just making a sand color, so we'll do that. So let's grab, yeah, you can see what he's doing. So I'm going to grab a different knife. We'll grab, I prefer to use the small one now. Where's my other small knife? I'm 99% sure I have another small knife that I am somehow just not seeing. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, I know it's here. So I'm just going to take a little of the white off of here. And we'll just mix all this and make a sand color. Well, I guess that's a sand color. Geez. It's kind of, let's put a little bit of, it's not sandy, it's not as sandy as I'd like it to be. It's more like dark skin tone. So what does it need? Maybe a little more white. Just chunk a little bit of that more in there. Yeah, that's better. That's better. No, a little more. Yeah, there we go. Maybe a little bit of yellow, just a bit of yellow in there. Oh yeah, now we're getting sand. Okay. Okay. And I believe he's using a 2-inch for that. So leave that there. Let's grab the 2-inch. I really need it. Yeah, why not? I'll just use it. It's okay. So let's just see. I think he just taps it in.
A little dark sea.
Yep.
Just put it out here.
Yeah.
Stand on, grab some yellow ochre.
Uh-huh.
Ochre. Reach a
Right.
period,
White. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Just tap it.
Tapping bristles. Okay. And let's do our little beach. One more. Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me blend this in. I'll back his stuff up in a second. I know what he's doing, which is he's going to put like the water caps on the waves. So let's just do that. Blend that nice and in, because that's what a beach would do at the edges. So just do that. Okay, so there's the beach. And let me wash this brush, because I don't think we're going to be using this again, this color. So let me wash this really quick. And that way, if I do need a 2-inch, I'll have one that didn't really have a lot of color to begin with. I mean, sand is almost a neutral color anyway. Okay. All right, a lot of color in this painting, which I kind of knew, but you know, looking at it, it's different when you see it on video. A lot different. Okay. So he uses the big knife, which I'm fine with on this because I know what this is. So the only problem is the white that I've got on there now has dark sienna mixed in, so we'll do another stripe of white. But again, not much, not much. And I think he just did the same thing where he just dragged it out flat, right? Yeah, that's what he's doing. So, right. Beach is there. I don't know if I did this painting before. I feel like maybe I did, but I can't remember now. Or maybe I've just done one similar. Hold it very thin. Okay. Cut across. Yep. Yep. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. So especially in the whiter parts, let's... do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, when he pushes, it does that. When mine, that doesn't do that so much. I mean, it's fine. It's still doing what I want it to, but it's not quite what he always says it's going to do. It doesn't quite do that. It does it a little bit, but it doesn't quite do it. So he's just putting different lines in here that are in the background of waves coming in. Okay. Is he pushing backwards or back forwards? What's he doing? Let me see. Yeah, okay. So he's kind of like doing the scratch thing, which I'll do when I get past this. Okay. So he's doing what? 4 waves? Yeah. Okay, got it. I see what he's doing. All right, so let's stretch the paint back out. Cut it. Okay. So, see, with me, pushing really firmly doesn't really do what his does, which again is okay because I can still manage to get it to do what I want to do, but it's not quite what he always says it's going to do. Mine never quite does that. But again, I think it's one of those things where if I did this all the time, could I get it to do that? Probably. Probably. But that's also, you know, I'm maybe being very generous on what I'd ever be able to actually accomplish. But it looks okay, so I don't really care. It doesn't look bad. As long as it doesn't look bad, I'm really okay with it. If it didn't look... I mean, I've screwed things up with the knife before, so it's not like it hasn't happened. But I've kind of figured out where my limitations are with it, and I can work around them most of the time. As long as I can do that, then I'm not so worried about it. See, like doing that. See, that looks nice. That's not what he's doing, but I like how it looks, so I don't care. If it didn't... The parts where the paintings where I get really, honestly, frustrated and upset are the ones where it doesn't do what he's saying, and it looks bad. Then I just get really irritated. But as long as it looks like water, you know, hey, it's all right. Stretch that out. And I don't care if this has blue in it, because it's the water. So whatever. It should have blue in it. The water's blue. Just trying to keep my line straight, which is a problem. It's always tricky for me to keep my line straight. But it's okay. It's not bad. Okay, so there's the basic waves. See, these don't look like waves. They still look like water caps, so it's okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Even take a little of that white and push it right on top.
Oh, so he's doing the cap. Okay.
Here on top.
Yeah, I see what he's doing. So he's kind of coming along here, which this I could probably manage.
That we used to make sand to that.
Yeah, that was okay. Okay, so he's making a light sand color. Is this where he's going to do the water coming in? Yeah, I got that. Okay.
Let's just go up here, just very gently.
What's he doing?
Graze those higher points. Just let it graze.
I'm not doing that. That will not look right. I don't like that. So we're just going to go ahead and skip past that. I know what he's doing. It's not for me. Oh, this is where he's going to scrub into the thing. I know what he likes to do this, which is okay. Yeah. This is where he's going to go into the actual tube of the wave. I guarantee you that's what he's doing. I've seen him do this before. No, I was incorrect. Okay, so he's doing highlights on the water. Yeah, I'm okay not doing that. We'll keep going. It's fine the way it is. Okay. Yep, okay. All right, now he's going to do the scrub of the tube. Oh no, I'm just completely wrong about everything here. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so now we need more white. Okay. Okay, I see what he's doing. All right. We can do that. Yeah, he's doing the... I like this. This I like when he does this. This waviness thing. It's a really easy way to make waveforms, which I think is good. So basically, you're making a wave, right? I'll make one here too, right? And then you scrub backwards to make the wave disappear into the water behind it. And I like that. That looks very good. And that is legitimately easy for anybody to do, because I mean, just look what I'm doing. This is not advanced, everybody. It's not. You could do this so easily, and you just create these waveforms, and you're just scrubbing against the hard line. Now that's a good opportunity for me to be able to sweep that up and just kind of move that like that, and have this blend into where that line came in. And it's just scrubbing backwards. See, it gives it that hard edge. But then you get that feeling of the water kind of going. And you can just kind of form waves and have them go backwards. Real easy. Okay. Is this where he's doing the tube now? No, he's going back to the top up in there. That's interesting. Okay, I see what he's doing. I don't think I'm going to do that on mine. I think I'm going to do another wave right here. Scrub it backwards. Like that. Just create these little water undulations. Oh, you know what? He did a little bit of that here too. Like kind of scrubbed this backwards, which makes sense, I guess. Rub that out to kind of define that dark area. Okay. Yep. Okay. So he's just making more waveforms. I'm fine with what I've got there. But he did make like a dark edge to that. That's interesting.
Time to have some fun.
Okay.
Let's do the eye of the wave.
The eye of the wave. This is what. Okay. Oh yeah, yellow and white. That's what he does. Oh yeah, he uses the filbert for that. That's right.
And white.
Yeah, he like scrubs it in. It's such an interesting thing. He really likes doing that.
Just get in here and scrub it hard.
Yeah, see, he does that kind of... I don't really like the yellow as much. I don't feel like that... I mean, I get it's the sun, but...
That's another reason we do this sketch, because you don't want paint in here. You want to keep that pure.
I think I'm just going to do this. I like keeping the color that's there. Like the scrubbing thing I get, that's okay. And like making this into a... like a foamy area. That looks good, but see, I wouldn't want to use yellow in there. I kind of like doing it like this. And just working it in. It kind of dissolves and gets... See, that looks... It just looks more organic to me and natural than doing it with yellow. I get the theory, I get it. I do. But that's just not what I like. I like doing it this way. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's where he's... So he does this all the way... Okay, this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense to me. I get this. I was wondering how this was going to work out. Now I see it. Now I see it. So we're going to keep this going. I see what he's doing. I got it. I mean, I figured this would have to get explained. And now I see where it is. So we're going to work that all the way down to the end. And we'll do a little bit more in here. Oh, he's doing white. Okay, so let me pause this because I know where he is now. All right, so we'll do this. See, he does it so quickly. That's why he can fly through it. But for those of us who are mere mortals, it takes a minute. So we're going to bring this all the way down. The only thing I wish is I think I got to make like a hard... I feel like there needs to be more white along the top of that. Because it just looks a little floaty to me. I don't know how else to put it. So I think what I'm going to do, now that the scrubbing part is done, let's get a little more white on here. This is my white palette, basically. And let's grab, it doesn't have to be pure white, but I need it to be very light. Let's see what this looks like. Just kind of dot along here to give this a... I may need more white. Maybe I do need the knife. I didn't think I needed the knife. I might need the knife. I might need the knife here. And I don't want to use a big knife for this. So let's use a small blue knife here. So I don't think I'm going to need to mix more of this color. So wipe that off. Let me grab this. This is going to be tricky, but I think I can do it. Actually, before I do that, let me grab the other fan brush here. And let's do what he was doing, which was to mix this down. So you just pull this through. Get the indications of these waves kind of flowing. I feel like there's parts right there. Just kind of blend that out. I have to do the white too. So actually, I should clean this brush. I should clean both these brushes. I should clean a few of these brushes now that I'm here, because I'm going to need them. Well, I guess I'll clean this one too. Why not? Because basically right now I'm almost out of fan brushes. I have my other brushes, I have clean ones, but I don't have any fan brushes. So let's do this. Okay. Come on. Fire off and off. Okay. That. I'll clean your fire. Okay. Okay. Dry this one. Okay. And then let's clean this guy. Okay. And we'll dry this. Okay. Okay, let's dry this off. All right, now let's knife. Yeah, knife. Okay, knife. Let's see if we can make this work. Let's try it. All we can do is try, everybody. All we can do is try. See, I just want to lay a white carving line. Carving line is not anything that means anything, but that's what I'm using here. Just a white line to indicate the top of the wave, like that. See, just to give it a hard edge. I just like the idea of that having a nice hard edge to it. Right? Keep going. Just come along here. That's it. Got it. Amazingly, got it. No one is more surprised that that worked than me. Now I got to do the tops of the waves. What he did up here is what he's doing.
Loaded, so you got nice
Yeah.
color there.
Okay, so he's coming down.
This is the part of the painting that everybody wants to see.
Yeah. Right?
If you're out selling paintings. Of course, none of us are interested in that happy buck. But if you're out selling paintings,
That happy
this is the
buck.
part that sells.
Okay.
Okay, use the old filbert brush here.
Okay, what's he doing next?
A little loaded touch, just a touch of this lavender color.
Yeah, well, aquamarine for us. Okay.
Let's put some foam. We put the shadow first.
Okay, I see what he's doing. Yeah, I got it. All right, so first, let's get the white done, because we got to get that done first. So we're going to load this brush heavy. Just like he said, load this brush heavy with color. And then hope that this works. Because for me, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Shockingly, this time, it does appear to be working so far. So this is the tricky bit. Again, if you've done a bunch of these, I'm sure this is nothing. But if you haven't, it's not easy. You know what? I am fairly okay with how that looks. Might do one more kind of midway thing right here just to get some of that white in. There we go. There we go. Leave it alone. That's as good as you're going to get it. Okay. So then he's saying go with the filbert into the dark color. And this is the big foam stuff. Okay. Okay, so I gotta wash this. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. This is this color.
Let the shadow just wherever you want it. Here it comes.
So load this up with color.
Big splash.
Wow. Boy, he really goes up there, doesn't he? Man. Okay. We'll try it. Let's get some more on there.
Let's go right back into it.
Oh, white. Oh yeah, I see what he's doing.
Give it upward push.
Yeah, okay. How far up did he go? He went way up, didn't he? God, yeah, he goes up in the air and everything. Wow. That's amazing. I mean, you know what? Let's try it. We won't go quite up as high as he does, but we'll give it, we'll go up there and we'll see. What does he call it? Bravery test? That's your bravery test. Okay. All right.
Now then, just sort of give it an upward push. And put the highlight right up on top. Right up on top of all that.
Okay.
Turn the brush, use both sides.
All right.
Now when it runs out of paint, wipe it off good. Get all that blue lavender color off of it. Nice color.
So I'm going to do one thing different than he's doing here. I'm not going to use the filbert brush. I'm going to use white per his direction. But I'm going to use a fan brush. Yeah, I see what he's doing. But I'm just going to use this fan brush for this. Because I think I can do the same thing, except make it look kind of pre-splashy by doing it this way. because I've done something like this before. See, that already just kind of gives it that splashy foam effect without me having to scrub it with the filbert brush. So if I just punch this in, it essentially is doing much the same thing. See that? See how it already looks splashy? And I can just use the corner to kind of emphasize that.